A very good o'clock to all the students. Here I am Amisha, ma'am, your English grammar teacher. Students, since we have started our chapter number 32, that is transformation of sentence, where we have discussed the conversion of simple sentence into compound sentence or compound sentence into simple sentence. Now today we are going to discuss about the conversion of simple sentences into complex sentence and complex sentences into simple sentence. So before starting this conversion, let us recall about the complex sentences first. What complex sentences actually are. Look here, I went to bed after I had finished my lesson. This sentence consists of two parts. First one is I went to bed, and second one is after I had finished my lesson. Here each part has a subject and a predicate of its own. I went to bed. What is subject here? I. And the remaining one is predicate, that is went to bed. Similarly in other one, and I had finished my lesson, I again a subject and the remaining one is your predicate. So each part has a subject and a predicate of its own. So in other words, we can say that there are two clauses in this sentence, right? One clause, I went to bed, is an independent clause which is not depending on any other clause. It can stand on its own, you can say, to convey the full meaning of a sentence. So this clause is called the main clause or the principal clause. The clause which do not depends is called the main clause or the principal clause. But the other clause, after I had finished my lesson, cannot stand on its own. It needs a help, students, right? It needs a help of what? Of the other clause. So therefore the clause which depends on the main clause for its meaning, for completing the meaning of it, is known as subordinate clause, or you can say the dependent clause. Subordinate itself means the help or the assistant. So subordinate itself means the depending clause which is depending on the main clause. Understood? So here I can say that a sentence which consists of a principal clause and one more, or you can say a principal clause and one or more subordinate clauses in it. It is not only that we have one subordinate clause, it can consist of many subordinate clauses. Okay. So better you remember that those sentences which consist of one principal clause and one or more subordinate clauses is known as your complex sentence. Complex sentence can be formed by expanding words or phrases into subordinate clause. How we can form the complex sentences? By expanding the words or phrases into subordinate clause like noun, adjective or adverb. By using noun clause also we can. By using adjective clauses also we can. Similarly by using your adverbial clause. By using noun clause we'll see first. See, I do not know the cause of his failure. Here complex, I do not know the reason why he failed. The cause of his failure means what? The reason why he failed. The reason why he failed is depending on the main clause I do not know. Right? So here it is a complex sentences and it is the noun clause here. Say, second one is tell me your address. Complex is tell me where you live. So where you live is your noun clause. By using adjective clause is what? Time once lost is lost forever. Here you can say that time which is lost forever. Right? Similarly, by using the adverbial clause, adverbial means what? Which tells us about the adverb. He is too poor to buy a bicycle. When you are converting into complex, it is he is so poor that he cannot buy a bicycle. See, one more thing I have already told you, that transformation means to change the grammatical form without changing the meaning of a sentence. Now let's come to our chapter, which is the conversion. Conversion of simple sentence into complex sentence. Simple sentence and the conversion into complex. See, a simple sentence can be transformed into complex sentence by substituting a subordinate clause in place of a word or a phrase. What you can do, you can just place a subordinate clause in place of the word or the phrase which is given, right? A noun or an adjective or adverb can be replaced by a clause bearing the same meaning. You can replace the noun, you can replace the adverb, you can replace the adjective by its own clause. Noun clause you can use adjective clause, you can use adverbial clause, which consist of the same meaning. Example here is noun clause. Simple sentence, he confessed his guilt. Complex, He confessed that he was guilty. That he was guilty, you can see, is your noun clause here. And here it is an example of simple sentence which is converted into your complex one. He confessed is your another clause, main clause. That he was guilty is your depending clause, subordinate clause. It consists of the two clauses, you can say, or more than two clauses, that is principal clause and one or more subordinate clause. So here therefore itself it is a complex sentence. Now come to adjective clause. Adjective clause, you can see good boys work hard. You can say the boys who are good work hard. So what boys? The boys who are good. Here you are defining or qualifying the quality of the boys who are good. So they are working hard, right? Now comes to adverb clause. Adverb clause, you can see the train started on my arrival at the station. Complex, the train started as soon as I arrived at the station. Hope so it is clear to you. This third exercise is based on this topic. Now let's come to the other one. Conversion of complex sentences into simple sentences. Now what happened if a complex sentence is given to us? How we will convert into simple? A complex sentence can be transformed into a simple sentence by changing a subordinate clause into a word or phrase bearing the same meaning. What we did right now, we just have to reverse the process. Whatever the subordinate clause is given to us, beta, we have to change it itself into replace, or we have to rebound back into the word or the phrase to which it consists of the same meaning, right? A clause can be replaced by a noun, an adjective, or an adverb. See, complex sentence is given to us in a noun clause. This proved that he was innocent. So noun word you have to use. That he was innocent is a noun clause. What word you can use? Innocence. Innocence is a noun. So you can see while replacing it into simple as, this proved his innocence. You haven't changed the meaning and your transformation is done here. Similarly, the adjective clause. Complex sentence is given, the service that Mahatma Gandhi rendered to his country cannot be forgotten. The service of Mahatma Gandhi to his country cannot be forgotten. This is our simple sentence. Adverbial clause. Complex sentence, as soon as I saw a thief, I ran after him. Simple sentence. At the sight of the thief, I ran after him. So here we are having fourth exercise related to this topic. Hope so it is clear to you. To watch the video completely to understand this chapter. Thank you, students.